All right. Hello, my name is Seamus McMahon, and you are listening to the Working Title Podcast. This podcast may never get a title. We'll probably never get a title, but at least the content is going to stay the same. I'm joined today by Joshua Powers.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about a couple different things. I want to start with what makes mainstream music, or I guess mainstream media, and then we're going to talk about what makes an A-list celebrity, because I think they're kind of the same question, because they're very personal opinion based, and then I'm gonna throw some celebrities at you.
Oh shit!
And see whether or not they're on the A-list for you. All right.
Whoa.
Because we'll see. I think yeah, it'll be interesting. But starting off with the mainstream music thing, I wanted to get your take on what makes mainstream music, because I mean, when you look at it, there's been a bunch of different eras in music, in the music business, in the music world, where for a long time it was one thing and then it changed to another, and then for like the past 20 or 30 years it's been pop music. Yes. Has been like the mainstream stuff. But I feel like with the internet, the idea of mainstream has kind of changed.
Very much so, especially with the birth of hip-hop and SoundCloud rap.
Yeah, exactly, because there's this one band that I listen to called Death Grips.
Death Grips.
Yeah.
I have heard of them.
Yeah, they started on the internet. They played some local shows out in California and San Diego, where they're from. I think it's San Diego. Somewhere out there. LA, San Diego. And but the internet is the way that they really pushed all their music and stuff like that. And they were very underground for a long time. But then when I started listening to them, they started putting out music that was like released by major labels, and then they got off the major label because they were like, fuck that, we don't want to deal with that. And started releasing music on the internet again for free. And it kind of, they like blew up because of it.
Really?
Yeah. It was very interesting. But for the longest time, they were considered underground. But on the internet, almost everybody knows who they are. So does that make them mainstream?
Oh.
Or do they have to be on the radio to be mainstream? Do they have to reach the top 100? Do they have to be in the top 200, top 40? So I think that's the basis of the question. Is like, to be mainstream, do you have to meet a set of criteria?
Wow, that's a really good poignant question. It really is. That's because what it means to be a mainstream artist now, like you said, is very different.
It's very different.
But I definitely think the criteria for being a mainstream artist is, first off, if you have a song on the Billboard Top 100, or if you have an album in the Billboard Top 200, that definitely classifies you as mainstream.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't necessarily think radio play factors into that as much as it once did in the 90s and 2000s. I think streaming numbers are probably a little bit more important in that respect.
Well, on that, do you think it's more... Because, I mean, when you look at Spotify and you look at an artist's page, and it shows you right under their photo, and then it has their name, and then it shows you their monthly listeners. If it has like 10,000 or more, or at what level, at what amount of listeners do you think they become mainstream?
Shit, probably like, I'd have to say maybe like 500,000. If you have over 1 million, probably.
Right. Because I think
mainstream.
I think it's like Taylor Swift and Drake have like 30 million monthly listeners or something like that. But then again, that's 30 million people.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Just on that platform too, mind you.
Yeah.
There's like all the other platforms as well.
Yeah.
YouTube. People that actually physically buy their albums.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I forgot my train of thought.
It's okay, bro.
But it's a very different world with streams. Excuse you, Cole. Jeez, dog. All right. But with streams, it's a little bit different, because if somebody listens to a song once in a month from a certain artist, is that considered a monthly listener, or is it somebody that consistently listens?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the metrics on it.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm gonna have to look at that. I think it's if you listen to it once, because it does change. Mm-hmm. So if you don't listen to them throughout the month, I think it goes down a little bit. But I mean, back in the day, it was album sales and then radio play.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, and back in the 90s, the mainstream music was grunge music, at least in the late 90s.
Yeah.
You know, and that was very much a West Coast thing in Seattle, and then heading down into California, and then it started to come over. Or at least that's what it seems like. So I wonder if mainstream music from different coasts plays into a role, or I don't know. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's kind of an interesting point that you touched on. I'd like to maybe build upon it a little bit. I think that popular music in the 90s was significantly better all around. There was so much more substance.
Right. It's very different too, because you had pop music as a genre.
But pop I feel like was way better in the 90s than it is now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I feel like there was definitely more timeless tracks in the 90s than there are now.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that's most of the stuff that's on the top 100, if you listen to it, I don't know. Not all of it's going to be like a timeless hit. Maybe it's dope right now, and maybe it's really doing great right now.
Right.
But in 10 or 15 years, when that song comes back on, are you going to be like, oh man, that's great. I feel that fucking nostalgia.
Yeah. I remember when that song came out.
Yeah.
Like the Little Nas song.
Oh, Old Town Road?
Right.
I think that one has a timeless quality to it.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not like hugely groundbreaking in my eyes. I mean, I guess a lot of people would argue that it is groundbreaking in the sense that it's like country and trap.
Sure.
I'm not going to
shit on it
because I love that Nine Inch Nails sample.
Yeah.
I really like Lil Nas kind of just came out of nowhere. I like his story. So, there's things about I don't hate on him. I like him.
Yeah.
I like what he's doing. But some of the other stuff, like, I don't know, maybe a lot of the stuff that Taylor Swift is doing right now.
Is she doing stuff?
All these elaborate collaborations between rappers and pop stars, I feel like are producing songs that, maybe sonically they're excellent. They're well put together by the top songwriters and top producers. But sometimes when I hear those tracks, I'm just left I'm left hungry for more substance.
Right.
Whereas in the 90s and early 2000s, there was more substance that I was being fed with mainstream music.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the music that I listened to growing up in the 2000s, I don't listen to much anymore. Especially at that time, I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
Because you listen to the radio and they don't say, and this is X band and this is the song.
That's one thing that's different that nobody ever talks about.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
Well, and even today when I was driving over here, I heard a song on the radio and I was like, I wonder what artist that is. They don't tell you.
Ever. Yeah, they don't tell you.
It's like such a dated thing. The 70s. Like, was this fucking band with this fucking song? And there's this band with this song. You don't hear that anymore. It's just next song to the next song.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, I listened to like Incubus and stuff like that. And I never knew the name of the song. So I grew up going like, I love that once. I remember I have this memory of driving down this one road and there's like trees on this side and a giant cliff and all this water out on the intercoastal. Yeah. And like listening to this Drive by Incubus. Great song. And it's just like I have that memory baked into my brain because it was just like, it's so good. But for years I was like, I don't know the name of that song. I remember what it sounds like. Yeah, for years. For years.
Dude,
oh man, what is that song? I remember what it sounds like. And then when I was in this band back in Texas, we played Animali by Incubus. And I was listening to it on YouTube. And then I listened to Drive and I was like, oh my God, that's the song. And now it's my favorite song, yeah. And I'm like, damn, I found it. All right, that's cool. But I never knew for years. Wow. So I feel like, does that have anything to do with being mainstream? Because I think at one point, Incubus was very mainstream.
Oh, definitely.
They were huge.
But also with such substance to all of those singles that they were putting out and the albums.
Yeah.
I mean, they were without a doubt mainstream. And even if you look at like now on YouTube, the numbers that they still have on all of their videos, like Drive probably has a couple 100 million hits.
Yeah, I think so. I think it must be in the 100 million.
There. Maybe even towards a billion or 500.
I don't know about that, but
it's probably
it's a lot.
high. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So I mean, it just maybe shows that they definitely are timeless. Maybe the last couple of records they put out haven't been as I've been less than enthralled with the work, but it's still like, it's good, but it doesn't match the caliber of those records that they were putting out back when they were in their heyday.
So do you feel like there's, with the increase in technology, since anybody can download a piece of music software, and throw together a beat, do you think that cheapens the idea of making music?
Yeah, it does, but at the same time, I think we touched on this on a podcast, previous podcast, but it's nice that it kind of democratizes the ability for more people to get into it and takes power out of the label's hands.
Right.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, they're not the sole proprietors of all things art as like they were just even a decade ago. Right. So that's good. So in that sense, it's great that you can just come from nothing and just be in a fucking shed somewhere in the Midwest and make a great song and put it online, and you could be discovered and really have a nice career for yourself. Whereas before that was impossible. So that it's good in that respect, but also there is definitely the oversaturation of you have all the same producers using the same DAWs, same sounds, same techniques, especially in hip hop. It's the same, sort of, you don't really hear.
Right. Same kind of ideas, stuff like that.
And even in a lot of the poppy stuff, like some of the recent Halsey tracks that I've heard, it kind of just has the same aesthetic. It has same drums, same arrangement, same almost like vocal melody. And I feel like that permeates pop a lot more these days, where you hear a song and you're like, oh, that sounds like that. Oh, let's sit down and try to write a pop song. There's this formula, and then they put that out and it sounds like all this other stuff. I feel like that's more prevalent now with mainstream pop than it was back in the 80s and 90s, which I think was a great era for pop music.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like pop, like the shit that was considered pop then is classics now.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Oh, for
even
sure.
like the small artists too.
Yeah.
Like Paula Abdul and all. All the people that were on American Idol at the beginning.
Yeah.
Randy Jackson,
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean the judges and stuff like that. Okay. Like they were big in the 80s and the 90s, kind of, but like they lost their steam. Yeah. But they were still super popular because people still listened to Paula Abdul albums and go back and watch the videos that were released on MTV. They were really cool, and then they stopped doing that. I mean, even like Vanilla Ice.
Oh, I missed that. Maybe that's maybe something else we should talk about is just how important MTV was to fucking pop music and just and the videos, and it just was so much. It was so much cooler. There was such more of a mystique around pop, like everything that was happening in the mainstream then.
Right.
It was just, and that had a lot to do with the videos. It was kind of something more special. You turn on the TV, you don't know what you're going to see. And you see Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. You're like, what the fuck is that? It's not hair metal. What? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it says the name and the album name. I love that too. And the song name. Yeah. It's so fucking cool. But now that's like relegated to just YouTube.
And nobody ever does that anymore on YouTube with their videos too. It's always like the same... The title of the director's in the middle and the artist, but it's not. I miss that old format when the music video would come on. It's kind of like cool. Give it like a real special, like cultish mystique.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, man. You see the label they're on. Yeah, it's fucking. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like an aging human that's longing for the nostalgia of a forgotten technology and forgotten.
I think it's getting better a little bit. I think a lot of people my age and a little bit older, kind of more towards your end, are.
I'm 69 years old.
Yeah, by the way. getting tired of the shit going on now.
Yeah,
where it's just like super overproduced pop music videos or like really really bad hip hop music videos where it's just a bunch of dudes waving guns and shit like that.
Guns and money and like big booties and
and that now people are actually trying to make music videos in art form again. At least that's what I keep seeing a little bit. But
I'm definitely seeing more of that though. It's emerging more in the last year or two.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Which is good. It's that's a good thing.
Yeah, It is a good thing. I think we're moving away from radio being the mainstream form of consumption.
Absolutely,
You
dude.
know?
I think
It's always been a dying art form.
yeah.
But I think now, with streaming being a huge thing and internet videos becoming such a big part of the way that people consume media, that the idea that a music video has to be on TV and it has to be a certain length or something like that it's changing to where you can just do the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I hope I hope people do more of that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll come back. It'll have its time. It's like if you look at art in general, it always has its periods. Like there was the Renaissance and the subsequent periods of art, and it just, if you look at all those different eras, you can see how like the motifs change. Like, and that's the same thing with music. It's eventually it'll go back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And revisit. Some innovative artist will come out, and some young kid who just is like a virtuoso who's only been producing for 2 years comes out with some incredible song, kind of like in a way like that little Nas guy.
Yeah, I guess
he just
so.
comes out. I mean, he probably didn't have a lot of experience like studying music.
Right.
He just knew like what to do.
Yeah.
Let me get this great beat, and he just fucking knew what to do with it. So that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I hope so.
Just kids just coming out of nowhere with these culture shifting moments.
Yeah. I mean, so in the end, I guess the idea of mainstream music being this one genre. Come on, dog. What you doing? Well, yeah. So mainstream music being pop music. Does it have to be pop music? Can it be hip hop music? Because I mean, right now the mainstream is hip hop music and rap and stuff and trap, and I mean, some pop music is still mainstream because you can look at like Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And who's the we were just talking about her, like Lizzo.
Yeah.
She's
like
hip hop artist.
Pop and rap.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, does at this point does it matter what genre it is?
I don't think
as long as like a lot of people are listening to it. Because I mean, would you consider Foo Fighters to be mainstream?
Yeah, definitely. At this current moment, they're out of. They haven't put out something that was like.
They haven't put out music for
a little bit.
2 years. Concrete and Gold came out 2016 or 2017.
But that's a crazy thing. You kind of see like these great artists like the Foo Fighters. They'll come out with this great work and they'll have their moment. Then they'll kind of just go into hiding and then leave room for other artists to come up. And then the next year you're going to see Kendrick Lamar probably come back with one, and he's probably going to dominate the charts again. There's all these artists like that are kind of just waiting in the corner,
right?
Making their record, and
they throw their good punches and then pull back.
Yeah, dude.
That makes sense.
Because all this shit is temporary, dude. All glory, all fame, even though it doesn't seem like it's going to end. When you see somebody that's like at the top of the charts, you're like, oh man, in your mind you're like, that's going to go on for a long time, forever.
Right.
But in 5 or 10 years, it's all glory is temporary, super temporary.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's just gonna keep shifting, dude. And I'm enjoying the ride, man. I have to say. So let me ask you this, man. What do you think about like to the Taylor Swift type music and the Halsey sort of music and artists like that? Does that sort of pop, overproduced kind of stuff bother you? Do you hear it and do you have like a visible disdain for it, or do you kind of feel like this just isn't for me?
I don't really listen to their music anymore. So when I was a kid, it was always on because it would be on the radio, and I never got a control over the radio until I was at home.
Yeah.
But if I was like at our public pool during the summer and the radio was playing, that's just what you listen to.
Yeah.
So I think at that point I had a physical disdain to it because I had my friends around and I could be like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah.
I don't like this song. And they were also like, oh yeah, it sucks. But then a good song would come on and like My Chemical Romance would play and be like, oh yeah, this one's awesome. When in fact, it's not that great. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I think nowadays I get to choose what I listen to, which is nice. Yeah. So I don't listen to their music. Like Halsey, I think I know who that is. I don't know any songs by them.
Yeah.
So, but Taylor Swift, I know, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's
She's
not.
not for you.
No, no, not at all. But I like Kanye West,
Yeah.
like a lot.
Kanye's
Even
great.
after all the controversy,
Oh,
I'm still a
absolutely.
huge fan because his music is great. But it's like,
He's timeless.
yeah, definitely timeless.
That's like what we were talking about, harkening back to the 90s and
Yeah.
2000s, where pop music was very timeless. And Kanye West, I feel, continues to be just that.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to keep on doing that because
Yeah.
he's just a great
Yeah.
artist.
So in that kind of sense, do you think Daft Punk would be timeless too?
Yes. I think they're timeless.
I feel like Kanye West and Daft Punk are two of a handful of artists that came from nowhere.
Yeah.
And like made a name for themselves. Daft Punk made a name for themselves with the name Daft Punk, never revealing who they were. But Kanye West was like, I'm me, motherfucker. I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But
his only regret in life is that he didn't get to see himself perform on stage. He said that.
really?
Yeah, he actually said that in an interview with Zane Lowe on Beats.
No way.
Yeah. That's
Whoa.
that's exactly what he said.
Well, I mean, when you think you're God,
You know what, dude? I hear that, and there's part of me that I have such a disdain for that sort of behavior, but for him, I'm just like, that's just part of it, dude.
Yeah.
To be a great artist like that sometimes you just gotta be fucking nuts and an egomaniac.
Yeah.
And that's perhaps Kanye has been known to be that.
Yeah.
Those things.
And like, I mean, you can go back and listen to College Dropout, and that's
Just
an amazing album.
Great, man.
And Late Registration,
Yeah.
and Early Graduation, is that it? Or College Graduation, right? Is that the album?
I think so.
I think it's late graduation or something like that. But like those albums are amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And then you listen to the newer ones, like you listen to Ye, and it's like, okay, I mean, it's the same guy, but he's evolved.
Yeah.
It may not be all that great, but I mean, it's something different. Instead of him doing the exact same thing, it's a little bit different. And then you listen to Kids See Ghosts.
Yeah.
And it's not just Kanye. It's
Cudi.
yeah, Kid Cudi
Cudi.
and somebody else, Little Red Man or something like that.
I think also what's happening on these last releases of his is that he has a huge team.
Yes.
He has a lot more people making the beats and songwriters,
of
and
people.
it's like a whole camp. It's more like along those lines of what you would see from a Taylor Swift, like a major pop artist like a Beyonce, where they have just like a retreat. Like I think Kanye for one of those albums retreated to Hawaii and had a bunch of producers.
Oh
come.
yeah, that's right.
So I think that's maybe like why you see the art change and evolve, is he has a lot more people working
Like
on it.
a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of
because
people.
not only does he have the music side of it, and a lot of producers working with him, and a lot of like engineers, but he's also got his art side and all of his clothing line people. So it's like he's got an entire building full of people that he can walk through and be like, all right, what are you guys working on? You shouldn't be doing that. Work on this, or whatever you're doing with that, don't do that. You need to do it this way. But I'm just waiting on Jesus is King.
Yeah,
That's the new album.
It's supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out yesterday, but it didn't, as far as I know.
He's probably still fucking mixing it or mastering it.
Yeah, that's what Kim Kardashian said. She put it on like Snapchat or Instagram that, they're working on the final mix.
Yeah, that's
it's going to be out this
I
Sunday.
read that, and that was the first thing I thought. And it's like, I keep seeing this pop up in the news. I'm like, it's just trying to. He's a perfectionist, man. That's how it is when you're trying to put out a great piece of work like that.
Yeah.
You have to just keep tweaking it.
Yeah.
Until you're fucking insane.
And he's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but he's getting better.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't like religion,
as
much as I'm against it, it seems to be helping him out very much to be grounded.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Because Jesus Christ, he was crazy. But, I mean, that really moves us into our next topic on what is A-list. Do you consider Kanye West to be an A-list celebrity at this point?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think once he married Kim Kardashian, it definitely cemented his spot in that upper echelon of celebrity culture in America.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that. So do you think Kim Kardashian is A-list?
Oh, for sure. I think she's like A+ list.
A+ list, yeah.
Yeah, if there is such a thing. I mean, do I like think she's great or awesome? I mean, not really. I'm not really like crazy about her, but it would be crazy for me to say that she's not,
Right.
very important to the culture, is as wild as that is.
Right.
I mean, 162 million followers on Instagram or Twitter. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of fucking people.
I mean, how many people are commenting? How many people is she talking to?
None.
Exactly.
Do you realize her DMs are probably just dick pics?
Oh, probably. I'm sure she doesn't look at it at all. Yeah. She probably takes her photos and then sends them to somebody else.
She probably pays somebody to do that.
Yeah, I'm positive she does that. But like, do you think like TV and the internet has changed the way that we look at like listing celebrities? Do we need to list celebrities?
I don't know. I feel like maybe like 10 years ago, like 2000, more like 2005, 2004, when you would think of like A-list celebrities, you'd more think of like the actors,
right?
Like Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt and just all the typical cast. I would consider those like, I think there was a lot more A-list celebrities then. I think that list is becoming more narrow as we.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
So would you consider Gwyneth Paltrow now to be A-list?
Shit, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that she has like, her body of work is pretty substantial, and she has like in a way that a timeless quality to her. I mean, what about you? What do you think? Not really?
Yeah, I put her in like B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think she's as popular as she used to be. Yeah. Because I mean, she's got her health and wellness line or whatever it is. It's called Goop.
Goop.
Yeah, it's called Goop. She sells snake oil.
She's selling Goop, dude. Packaged up some of that Goop and she's trying to sell it to you.
She sells stones to put in your vagina.
What?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want Gwen's Goop in your vagina? I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Definitely like selling that to a very, again, just not for me.
Yeah, it's for crazy people.
Yeah, it's for like crazy LA chicks who are into, Birkham yoga and, they say namaste after every sentence.
Yeah.
They have vajazzle their vajayjay, and they're like, you know what better after the vajazzling than
stick a stone in there.
A post-vajazzle stone from Goop.
Yeah.
To anoint the holy LA vajayjay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyway, I digress.
But like, what about let's see, who else? Let's think of like people Quentin Tarantino's worked with. Would you say that what's his name? He's in Face Off. Would you say Nicolas Cage is A-list?
Not at this current moment.
No. You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think if he comes back out with some great films in the next couple of years, maybe one that comes out and has a big impact on the zeitgeist.
Right.
I could see him catapulting back to that. I think he had like a lot of financial trouble, and he had to maybe do some movies that weren't at the caliber that he should have been doing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, National Treasure is a national treasure.
I really like him in Gone in 60 Seconds. That's a good fucking movie.
Oh, that is a really
I love
good
that movie. I've seen that movie like 40 times.
Really? Oh, it's so
Mostly
good.
just it comes on TV and you're bored on Saturday.
That's so good.
Angelina Jolie in that too. She's good in that.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's such a good movie.
Would you consider Angelina Jolie to be A-list at this current moment in time?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
She's kind of out of the zeitgeist.
Yeah. I would have to say, yeah, I think so. Because I think at one point, like you said, celebrity was very exclusive to like, if you've been in a movie or at least a couple of movies and you're in big movies that make a lot of money, then you would be considered an A-list celebrity. I think at one point Angelina Jolie was definitely that.
Oh, for sure.
But I feel like in the past couple of years, she hasn't really been in much. I mean, I think Maleficent was the biggest.
Kids, Seamus.
Dude, she's got millions of dollars. She can get a nanny.
Need to work. She doesn't need to. And even if she probably, didn't even need to be an actress. Her dad was a pretty popular actor.
Yeah, John
Voight.
John Voight, that's it. Yeah, she was born from his testicles. Oh. Yeah. She just dripped out of his ball sack. Oh God. He's a great actor, but goddamn.
I love that you just put that shit. Yeah. That was excellent.
Oh,
well said.
You think a woman had sex with that? Jeez. Oh man. Again, great actor. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness, Seamus.
But like, I mean, in the same idea, would you say that Brad Pitt is A-list? Because he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He has a movie out now called Ad Astra, which is
that looks really good. We should definitely check that out.
Yeah,
I want to see
probably very heady. I hope.
Heady?
Yeah, like a lot of deep thought went into it, or it's got like very good questions posed to the viewer.
It seems like it has some depth. Just I'm basing that on absolutely nothing. Basing it on the trailer, which looks very well done. Cinematography looks very good.
Yeah, I miss a lot of those movies. Like I fucking love super heady movies. Like
yeah, absolutely. You want to think about it.
Yeah, like people hate it. There was a movie that came out. I think it was last year. It was called Mother. Yeah, it was another A-list air quotes A-list celebrity, Jennifer Lawrence. Would you consider her A-list?
I think so.
Yeah, even still.
Not right at this current moment, but I think she was. Probably
okay, so she's not.
Ago.
So she's not A-list now, but she was. So you put her like B or C or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this movie Mother had her playing a mom. She was pregnant, and throughout it was like the idea of the movie wasn't ever explained. And it was very strange, all the imagery and stuff like that, but it was a very straightforward story. And people hated it. They hated it.
It was dog shit.
Yeah. They were just like, oh, it makes no sense. You can say it's about...
Is it like a indie more sort
of? Yeah, it's Joseph Winding Refn. He made Drive. Drive is so fucking good. But he's got a very long track record of making very heady movies that have nothing to say about anything. Yeah. But this one, I walked out of the theater and was like, I don't understand why people hate this movie. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Mother. That one slid by me.
It was good. It was so good. But that's the kind of movie I like. Yeah. So I really like Blade Runner, and I really like Blade Runner 2049. I need to fucking
see that movie, dude. I have never seen Blade Runner.
If you want it. You haven't?
I haven't, and I want to see it.
It's so fucking good.
We've been talking about it for years. I gotta check that shit out, dude.
Yeah, it's really good. If you want to watch Blade Runner 2049, I have that too.
Oh shit! Yeah. Which one's better?
It depends. They're both very different movies.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 different versions of the first one, so it depends on which one you watch of that too.
Did you ever see that Ready Player One?
Pretty much. I didn't go and see it in the theater, and then I've never watched it from beginning to end, but I've seen it from beginning to end.
Is that like how Blade Runner is? Kind of like that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No,
it's totally different.
It's very different. I think they make a lot of Blade Runner references in Ready Player One because it's an 70s, 80s movie.
It's weird. It's in the future, but it has like that 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cyberpunk sort of story. Androids. It's really fucking good. It's super heady too.
What do you think of Black Mirror?
I used to like it. Seasons 1, 2, and 3 were really good.
Yeah.
And then this
you
last
didn't like 4
one,
and 5? You didn't like the last one?
No. I
it
haven't
wasn't as
even
good
watched
as the first couple, I will admit.
Yeah. White Christmas is still the best episode of all time.
Well,
White Christmas?
Refresh my memory on the topic.
White Christmas was... it starts with John Hamm and some random dude they're stuck in a cabin in Antarctica or something like that. And they're talking about memories that they have, and it like goes through all these different scenarios with this one guy, and it's very good. And then it turns out that it's the one guy that hasn't told any stories yet is actually being investigated, and he's like in a mind prison or something like that.
Shit.
Oh, it's so fucking cool.
I've seen it. I just can't remember.
It's such a good episode.
What do you think about the one where it's like kind of that Star Trek? You know what I'm talking about? Where the CEO of that company, he creates a software and he traps cyber versions of all his employees in there and he just like tortures them. Well,
that episode was really good.
That was a really good episode.
Yeah. Was that season 4?
That was actually season 4 or 5, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
there's a couple like that are just so fucking good.
Yeah, I think
real heady, as you would say.
Yeah, season 4 was a little different.
You like the Miley Cyrus one that just came out?
No, I haven't watched that season because I didn't like that they just kind of put it out because all the other seasons they had at least a trailer that showed off.
I wanted to see more, man. I was kind of disappointed that there was only 3 episodes.
Oh, there's only 3? So there's the Miley Cyrus one.
Yeah.
There's the gay video game one.
Yeah.
And then I had don't know what the third one is.
Oh, that one actually I thought was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah, it's this dude. He's in Britain, and he's really wants to talk to the founder of Facebook. In the show, it's called something different than Facebook, but he like takes this dude hostage, and it like chronicles like this that he's taking this dude hostage, and he wants to talk to the owner of Facebook to tell him that he doesn't want, he wants him to like dissolve it, or
really
he wants him to. I just explained it so shoddily. It's really good though. I liked it. You should check it out, dude.
I might watch that episode because I don't want to watch the other two.
Yeah,
but
if you were to watch one of the three, I would say that would be the one. I think you'll like that one.
Okay.
I think you would like it. Did you watch Bandersnatch?
No, I wanted to, but
it's crazy.
If I watch it, I'm going to have to go through all the different paths.
There's like a wrong way to do it. Like,
yeah.
You watch it and you go through the wrong way and you have to start over again.
Yep. Yeah.
It's really freaky.
Yeah. I would literally have to like find a tutorial on how to get the best ending and then go through and watch every single one to see where you can kill the guy. Yeah.
Talk about heady, bro.
Yeah. But so that's going to be about it. Mainstream music
sucks.
It sucks for the most part. It depends on what you look at.
No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't suck. Not all of it. It's new. It's nuance. There's nuance to it.
Yeah, there's always a nuance to personal opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I guess is kind of the point I wanted to get to.
Yeah,
where it really doesn't matter what everybody says is good. It depends on your personal preference. So listen to what you want to.
Yes.
Watch what you want to.
I like that.
Yeah, and I think the more something makes you think, and the more it like affects you personally, that it means it'll end up meaning more to you in the future. So I think we need to move as a society. We live in a society, Josh, where everybody makes shitty society jokes, but we live in a society where we're not moving forward in any kind of like emotional or mental kind of growth sort of way.
Yeah.
That I think we need to look into changing that,
Okay.
Yeah, getting back into creating better media.
Yes.
Some more heady stuff.
More heady.
To say.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that word. I like that phrase.
Good. Well, I think that's a good place to stop.
That's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to episode 5 of Working Title Podcast. We'll catch you next time when we decide on the next topic.